The Land of the Emperor, Japan and Kochi's Journey. Chapter 8. The Beginning. Jomon period starting over 12 years ago. Long ago, at the end of the Ice Age, Japan was partially connected to the Asian continent. People began to migrate to the islands, and eventually established the foundations of a communal society here. Through hunting, fishing, and gathering, they formed a unique culture that deeply respected and coexisted with nature. And here, in Kochi, these first inhabitants also lived. Relics found here reveal that they utilized the rich natural bounty of this region from ancient times. Chapter 2. The Imperial Lineage, the nation's origin through myth. To understand Japan, we must look at its ancient chronicles. These stories begin with the creation of the land by the gods, which eventually led to the appearance of the first emperor. The emperor's lineage is directly connected to the sun goddess, giving it a powerful, sacred foundation. With documented records of emperors dating back roughly 1,500 years, Japan possesses an exceptionally long and continuous imperial line, unique even on a global scale. This ancient mythology is the heart of Shinto, Japan's indigenous faith. Shinto shrines are sacred places where Japanese people have traditionally gone to greet the gods, express gratitude, and offer prayers for centuries. This is the root of the Japanese spiritual culture. From this Shinto worldview emerged sumo wrestling. Sumo, originally developed as a sacred ritual, performed to pray for good harvests and to honor the gods. Although it is now known as Japan's national sport, its origins lie deeply in religious ceremony. Chapter 3. The Rice Revolution. Yayoi period. Starting around 4th century B.C. The following era brought a dramatic transformation. Around the 4th century B.C., people arrived from the Korean peninsula, bringing two techniques that would become the cornerstone of Japanese society: wet rice cultivation and metal tools. Life rapidly shifted from hunting and gathering to organized rice farming. This stable supply of food drastically changed society. With the spread of rice cultivation, the foundation of Japanese sake was also born. In its earliest form, sake was not an everyday drink, but a sacred offering used in rituals and festivals to communicate with the gods. Japan's alcohol culture is believed to have begun during this Yayoi period. This new wave of civilization spread to Kochi as well. The Ryugado limestone cave reveals traces of life from this period, showing how ancient people used natural caves for living and rituals. Furthermore, the Tamura ruins confirm one of the largest early farming settlements in Shikoku, proving that large-scale agricultural communities took root in Kochi early on. Chapter 4. The Yamato polity, starting around late 3rd century A.D. Ancient Chinese records describe early Japan as small regional groups governed by powerful local leaders. In the 3rd century, a strong female ruler temporarily brought order to the chaos and established official contact with the Chinese court. This era advanced into the consolidation of the Yamato polity, centered on the emperor. As a symbol of national power, they began building massive tombs, known as kofun. These gigantic tombs were proof of authority, and their construction suggests a wide network linking the central court with local clans. Kochi played an important role in supporting this early state. It served as a hub in the maritime network, supplying vital resources like seafood and timber to the central government. While keyhole-shaped kofun are a symbol of Yamato power across Japan, Kochi is known for having fewer confirmed examples, and its kofun history is often discussed through later large tombs and regional patterns. Chapter 5. The Arrival of Buddhism and State Formation. Starting around 6th century A.D. As the age of kofun ended, Japan actively adopted advanced continental culture and steered toward full nation building. To establish this new state, the imperial court first reorganized the country into administrative units comparable to modern prefectures and cities. The central government dispatched officials, known as kokushi provincial governors, to oversee these regions, manage registration, and begin collecting taxes. rice, and goods. Politically, the most significant event was the arrival of Buddhism, traditionally dated to around 538 A.D., via the Korean peninsula. Unlike local Shinto practices, Buddhism offered a systematic doctrine. It was quickly seen as an effective tool for consolidating political rule under the emperor. Though initially resisted by some powerful clans, Buddhism became deeply involved in national politics. From the 7th to the 8th century, the imperial court used Buddhism to symbolize its authority, constructing massive structures. The Great Buddha and the Todaiji Temple in Nara were symbols of immense national power. Culturally, Shinto and Buddhism began to coexist by sharing roles. Shinto focused on life and the present thanksgiving for nature and ancestors. Buddhism introduced grand doctrines concerning death and salvation. This unique blending of faiths continues to define Japanese spiritual life today. Here in Kochi, the Buddhist wave arrived early. Influential temples were built in the Nara period. Chikurin-ji Temple is a prominent example of these powerful early temples established in Kochi. Later, in the early Heian period, the monk Kukai, who was from Shikoku, spread esoteric Buddhism. Kukai is the central figure associated with the Shikoku pilgrimage, and many sacred sites are connected to places where he is believed to have trained, including Chikurin-ji Temple here in Kochi. Chapter 6. The Kamakura period, the start of the samurai age, starting 1185 A, lasted about 140 years. How did the long era of court nobles end? Warriors, known as samurai, gradually gained strength by maintaining local security. They eventually amassed military power that surpassed the imperial court. The two largest samurai factions, the Minamoto and Taira clans, clashed fiercely in the Genpei War. The victor, Minamoto no Yoritomo, established a new system. He respected the emperor's sacred authority but took the real political and military control for himself. He was granted the title of shogun by the emperor and established the shogunate in Kamakura in 1192 A.D. This marked the definitive beginning of the samurai age, which would last for about 700 years. In Kochi, local power began to transition to samurai influence as the central military government system took root. Chapter 7. The Muromachi period and the stirrings of war. Starting 1336 A.D., lasted about 230 years. Eventually, Emperor Go-Daigo attempted to restore political power to the imperial court. He temporarily succeeded in overthrowing the first shogunate, but his attempt failed when he alienated the very samurai leaders who had helped him. A new shogun established a new government in Muromachi, Kyoto. Culturally, this close proximity to the imperial court led to a rich blend of samurai and court cultures. Muromachi culture saw the major development of arts like no theater, the tea ceremony, sado, and flower arrangement, ikebana, all of which are pillars of modern Japanese culture. During this time, the Hosokawa clan, relative of the shogun, dispatched from the central shogunate, served as a military governor of Kochi, linking the region more directly to the nationwide samurai administration. However, the shogunate failed to control the powerful local samurai. In 1467, a prolonged conflict that dragged on for 10 years in Kyoto shattered the central authority, plunging Japan into an era of chaos and social upheaval. This central breakdown greatly affected Kochi, allowing local samurai to seize power as the Warring States period began. Chapter 8. The Warring States period. Samurai and Bushido. Starting around 1467 A, lasted about 150 years. The collapse of central power plunged Japan into a continuous chain of battles for about 150 years, the Warring States period, Sengoku. The key figures in this tumultuous age were the samurai. Their warrior ethos, later discussed as Bushido, emphasized loyalty to one's lord, profound honor, and a selfless readiness to face death. This code defined the actions and culture of the military class. In Kochi, the chaos was extreme. 8 rival factions constantly fought, and hundreds of castles and forts were built in the region. Amidst this turmoil, one man rose to unify the region, Chosokabe Motochika. He built his power using an original system called Ichiryo Gusoku, which armed local farmers to serve as soldiers, unifying Kochi and coming close to ruling the entire Shikoku region. Chapter 9. National Unification and the Birth of the Tokugawa Shogunate, starting 1600 A.D. The long period of war finally ended with the decisive battle fought by Tokugawa Ieyasu. The Battle of Sekigahara in 1600 brought victory to Ieyasu, who established the Tokugawa Shogunate in Edo, modern Tokyo, in 1603 A.D. This initiated another powerful samurai government, the Edo period, which would last for about 260 years. During this long era of peace, a vibrant popular culture flourished among ordinary people. Kabuki emerged as a bold and colorful form of theater that entertained the masses. Ukiyo-e woodblock prints captured everyday life, landscapes, and famous actors, later influencing Western art across Europe. In the world of food, the prototype of modern sushi was born in Edo, developing into a refined and accessible cuisine. For Kochi, this battle was a major turning point. The Chosokabe clan lost their domain for supporting the losing side. Instead, Yamauchi Kazutoyo, who supported Ieyasu, became the new lord and built Kochi Castle. The Yamauchi family governed Kochi for the entire 260 years of the Edo period. During this peaceful era, Kochi developed its distinctive food culture, including katsuo no tataki and sawachi-style feasts, where food and sake were shared together in lively gatherings. Chapter 10. The End of the Shogunate. The Era of Sakamoto Ryoma. Starting 1853 A.D., the long peace of the Edo period ended when Commodore Perry's fleet, arriving in 1853 from America with his black ships, modernized warships, forced Japan to open its borders. This arrival caused massive domestic turmoil, leading to the rise of two powerful but deeply hostile regional clans. The samurai groups from the regions of Satsuma modern Kagoshima Prefecture and Choshu modern Yamaguchi Prefecture. In this age of upheaval, the country's opinion was split into three main groups: those demanding to expel foreigners, those urging rapid modernization through opening the country, and those who believed the shogunate must end, demanding power be returned to the emperor. Into this conflict stepped Sakamoto Ryoma, a native of Kochi. Ryoma achieved the seemingly impossible. He reconciled the two hostile powers, Satsuma and Choshu, forging the Sacho alliance, which became the engine of the revolution. He then presented a blueprint for a modern Japan, advocating that samurai rule must end and power must be returned to the emperor, allowing Japan to stand equally with Western nations. His vision became reality. In 1867, the last shogun decided upon the restoration of imperial rule, Taisei Hokan. The political authority was returned to the emperor, ending 260 years of samurai rule and transitioning Japan back to a nation centered on the emperor. Chapter 11. The Meiji Restoration and Modernization. Starting 1868 A.D. The return of power to the emperor began the Meiji Restoration in 1868. The new government sought to elevate the emperor's authority while rapidly adopting advanced Western political, social, and cultural systems. The feudal domains were abolished, and the privileges and class system of the samurai were completely eliminated. By 1876, the Sword Abolition Edict was issued, prohibiting the wearing of swords in public, bringing the long age of the samurai to a final close. Many former samurai, though stripped of their warrior status, used their education and discipline to become bureaucrats, police, teachers, and industrialists, powerfully driving Japan's rapid modernization. Key figures among the samurai who cooperated in the revolution, particularly those from Kochi, Satsuma, and Choshu, became the central driving force and high-ranking officials of this new government, Kochi played an extremely vital role in this revolution. Besides Sakamoto Ryoma, the region produced many patriots, such as Itagaki Taisuke. Itagaki later formed one of Japan's earliest full-fledged political parties, making significant contributions to realizing modern parliamentary democracy and the participation of the common people in governance. Sakamoto Ryoma, the great hero for Kochi and all of Japan, unfortunately, was assassinated shortly after by anti-government former shogunate forces. The last chapter, the modern era. Nowadays, from the earliest periods through the ages of the nobles and the samurai, and to the transformation into a modern state, Kochi has consistently played a crucial role in the waves of Japanese history. Inspired by the visions for modernization put forth by figures like Sakamoto Ryoma, Japan successfully underwent an industrial revolution and developed into one of the world's leading economic powers. Today, Japan is a developed, democratic nation. The emperor serves as the symbol of the state and the unity of the people. The political system, which began in the Meiji era with limited suffrage for only wealthy citizens, has fundamentally changed. Thanks in large part to the early efforts of patriots like Itagaki Taisuke, power is now truly held by the people, and politicians are chosen through general elections and popular vote. As you experience the rich culture, deep history, and beautiful nature of Kochi, you are walking through the living story of this nation, a timeless narrative of transformation and resilience that continues to carry the spirit of Japan forward.